Well, good afternoon and welcome back to the Little French Homestead. If you are new to my channel, my name is Sherry. Welcome. So, I have to ask you an important question because lately I've been actually going through this same problem. So, I want to know if you have been too. You know the feeling, right? When you walk into a room, maybe it's your office, maybe it's the kitchen, and you see it. That pile of mail, the stuff all on top of the counters, or the clothes draped all over the chair, and instantly you just feel tired. You might think it's just a mess, a simple annoyance, but what if I told you that your brain might be interpreting those visual chaoses as a kind of constant low grade stress? Now, this isn't just some random theory. Some fascinating research, like an observational study from UCLA's Center on Everyday Lives and Family, gives us a clue. The study looked at dual income families and found a link. Mothers who described their homes as quote unquote cluttered, or quote unquote full of unfinished projects tended to have cortisol patterns associated with chronic stress. Cortisol is that same hormone that spikes when you're in the fight or flight situation. Your brain, on cluttered, isn't disorganized. It can feel like constantly being on alert. And if you've ever felt a wave of shame or guilt over the mess, like it's some kind of personal failing, then this video is for you. Because the researcher suggests your struggles are very real. In this video, we're going to break down the surprising psychology of how a messy space can feel like it's waging a war on your brain. Then I'll give you some dead sample, science-informed plan to help turn your home back into a sanctuary and reclaim your peace of mind. Let's talk about that stress hormone, cortisol. Your body uses it to manage genuinely dangerous situations. So if a bear is chasing you, you want that cortisol spike. The problem is our stress system can also be nudged by things that aren't life-threatening. To your brain, that pile of unsorted papers is a task left undone. That overflowing laundry basket is a signal of disorder. Each piece of clutter is a tiny visual loose end. Individually, they're nothing, but together they can create a constant low-grade stress response that feels like it's never shuts off. That UCLA study I mentioned was interesting. Researchers tracked families and saw that women who felt their homes were cluttered didn't show the typical drop in cortisol levels throughout the day. Their levels tended to stay flatter. In contrast, those who described their homes as quote-unquote restful showed that cortisol levels that tapered off naturally. That can translate into that feeling of being constantly on edge. You might feel jumpy, frustrated, or vaguely anxious for no obnoxious reason. It could be because your body is stuck in a state of low-level chronic stress, triggered by nothing more than your physical environment. So if you feel like your home is stressing you out, you're not just imagining it. It's not just a feeling. It can be a psychological response. Beyond the stress, there are other reasons clutters that feel so draining. It launches a direct assault on your ability to think clearly. I want you to imagine your brain's working memory is like a RAM on your computer. It's a space you use for active, conscious thoughts. Now imagining opening up one browser tab, then another and another. Soon you have about 50 tabs open, all demanding a tiny piece of your processing power. Your computer slows down and simple tasks can take forever. This is a great analogy for what clutter does to your brain. Researchers at Princeton Universal Neuroscience Institute uses MRIs to watch this happen in a lab setting. They found that when your visual field is cluttered, the visual cortex in your brain can become overwhelmed. Every object in your line of sight, every book, every mug, every stray cord, competes for the neural representation. Even if you think you are going to ignore this mess, your brain is working overtime in the background to filter out all of that is irrelevant visual noise. This constant filtering process eats up your cognitive resources. It's like running a background app that's always draining your battery, leaving you with less mental bandwidth for than what actually matters. The results? You might struggle to focus. You might feel mentally foggy even after a full night's sleep. Your productivity can tank because a chunk of your brain's energy is spent just dealing with the environment that it's in. Clearing that clutter isn't just about making a room look nice. It's about closing all those unnecessarily mental browser tabs so your brain can finally run at full speed again. This brings us to the most insidious part of the cycle. If clutter is so bad for us, why is it so hard to deal with? Have you ever looked at a mess, felt completely overwhelmed, and then just walked away and watched Netflix instead? You're not lazy. You might just be experiencing a very real phenomenon called decision fatigue. Every single item in a cluttered space represents an unsolved decision. This pen, does it work? Should I keep it? Where does it go? This piece of mail, is it important? Do I shred it? The old t-shirt, do I still like it? Will I ever wear it again? Each question is a micro decision that taxes the part of your brains responsible for focus and planning, the frontal cortex. Decluttering is essentially a marathon of decision making, and when that system gets overloaded, it starts to look for the easiest option. This is where the procrastination comes in. Your brain, exhausted from 1,000 tiny choices, defaults to the path of least resistance, making no choice at all. It becomes easier to ignore the mess than it is to engage with it. This might also be why it's linked to other behaviors. For instance, one fascinating lab study found that people in a messy kitchen were more likely to eat unhealthy snacks than people in an organized one. The idea is that their self-control, other function governed by that same prefrontal cortex, was already depleted. It creates a vicious cycle. The clutter contributes to decision fatigue. The decision fatigue makes it harder to deal with clutter. The unresolved clutter then creates more stress and a cognitive load that deepens the fatigue. You feel stuck, not because of a character flaw, but because your brain is caught up in a psychological trap. All right, so we've laid out the problem. We know clutter can be a neurological battle. So how do we fight back? The answer isn't getting a week-long soul-crushing cleaning marathon. That will only lead to more decision fatigue. The key is to be strategic and gentle. This isn't a war against your stuff. It is a mission to reclaim your peace. Forget the whole house. Don't even think about the whole room. Your only goal is to reclaim one small visual surface. It could be your nightstand, your kitchen counter, the single chair in the corner, or the little mess of desk papers on your desk. The goal here isn't a quick, decisive win. Clear it off completely, wipe it down, put back only what is necessary in that area. This one clean space becomes your visual anchor of calm in that chaos. Every time you see it, your brain gets a small hint of order and control. This is about building a habit, not tackling a huge project. Set a timer for 5 minutes every day and tidy one small area. Maybe you tackle one corner of your desk and sort that small stack of mail. The timer is crucial because 5 minutes is so short, your brain can't really argue with it. It doesn't feel overwhelming, but over a week, that 35 minutes of progress, it trains your brain to see tidying up not as a monumental task, but a small, manageable part of your body. This is the most important step. Try to stop looking at decluttering as a punishment for being messy and start seeing it as an act of kindness to your future self. You're just not cleaning, you are reducing the environmental stress and not just organizing. You are creating a space that allows your brain to relax when you frame it as self-care. The entire emotional weight of the task can change from a burden to a relief. For a long time, we've been told that a messy home is a sign of a lazy person, but the science gives us a new way to look at that story. Your brain is on clutter, is a brain dealing with a lot of low hum stress, a heavier cognitive load, and the paralysis of decision fatigue. The struggle isn't a moral failing. It is a very human neurological reality. But the most important empowering part of this is that it hands the controls right back to you. You now understand what you are up against, and you know now it's just not you. It's the way our brains can react to our environment. And now you have a way to fight back. By creating a one-space sanctuary gives you a peace of mind and a place to rest. By practicing the 5-minute reset, you build an effortless habit of order. And by reframing this as an act of self-care, you transform that dreaded chore into a powerful tool for your own well-being. You have the power to change your environment. And by doing that, you have the power to change on how your brain functions. How do you feel and how you show up in the world? Thank you so much for allowing me to come into your home today. If this resonates with you, please go ahead and place a comment down below. Please go ahead, share with friends and family if you feel that they also have this type of behavior, to let them know it is completely okay. Go ahead and subscribe. Please click that notification bell so you can receive any videos that I have dropped in the recent days. Thank you so much for having me with you, and let me know in the comments below, what is the first space that you are going to reclaim first? Thankfully, I was able to go ahead and do 3 small spaces, and that just allowed me to free up my mind because that has been going a lot lately with full-time work and trying to do videos and keep up with you guys. So again, thanks so much and have a great day. Bye.